My, oh my, upset potential unlocked in this one. KRÜ Esports looking to put G2 on notice. Let's get into game number one.
Opportunities abound, blank slate. Let's go ahead, get this one started. Strong kickoff initially from Drufinho, at least earning some early possession. We'll see how long they can hold it. In a large part, G2's structural gaps. They didn't really understand the spacing of their opponents, and if you're KRÜ, you should be looking here to figure out what G2 can and cannot cover. And if you start moving that ball into the empty area of the pitch, because there should be a lot of it, G2, like we said, they play very tight, very aggressively, trying to overwhelm you with numbers in a close environment. If you can find that space, you can get yourself out of a lot of jams.
Yeah, there's two things that G2 do extremely well. One is their transition offense, the ability to turn those clears into immediate passes, then into immediate shots, and then what they're so well known for is those infield passes. You gotta watch out for those for KRÜ Esports. They're gonna be trying that time and time again. You're gonna see Atomic flashing in the middle, JNAP's trying to hit him, and already Demo coming out, and Drop's gonna slow that one down, but wow, what a bad spawn for Drufinho there.
Really unfortunate, kind of ties up this KRÜ rotation, locks them into their own half with not a lot of boost in their own corners. It's one of the big tenets of defense in Rocket League. You have to make sure you're securing your own corner boost. You've already given up most of the pitch to the opposition. You cannot afford to also get starved out.
There it is.
Nice one off the ceiling. Drufinho has recovered. Nice little poke down the center. It will force Chicago to slow play this one. He didn't really catch that one very cleanly, though, and KRÜ an opportunity to stay on attack, and there it is, dumping that ball to the open space, giving KRÜ time to readjust and reposition themselves and handle G2 in a more efficient manner.
Yeah, that was a great read there. Oh no, big mistake on the back line, in Chicago gonna get a free open net here, sneak it under the crossbar.
Oh, Drufinho getting bumped off the backboard, and I think everybody on KRÜ thought Drufinho was going to be able to get there. I think Drufinho thought he was going to be able to get there, but turns out just that little bit of physicality on the backboard, slowing the timing. That KRÜ defense gave him just enough of an opening, and G2 opened up the scoreboard.
JNAP's here midfield. Be aware of his vision all up and down the pitch. He's so good at reading not only his teammates, where they are, where he needs to be, but also the opposition. As Atomic tried to get a redirect there, not going to work out, but G2 slowly starting to back KRÜ Esports into their own half.
Really like to see Brad there take that one on the dribble, actually manipulates another challenge. Gives KRÜ time and space to try and get set up on offense. Hopefully there's enough boost that spawns somewhere on the pitch. As actually a favorable in challenge goes Atomic's way, despite looking like KRÜ was maybe going to gain possession there. Back into the middle, redirect denied. KRÜ just in time as Drops just has to get up and prevent G2 from diving in that one to keep the offense going.
Yeah, and it seems like G2's plan right now is to force KRÜ to play the side walls. So far we haven't seen anybody from KRÜ at all with the ball central field. So right now they've got to try and open that up, get away from those side walls. It's such a tough angle to make shots from there. You open up so many more opportunities at the top of the box, and this one going side wall, big demo, and it's gonna go in. Drops ties us up.
Really great demo in the box here from KRÜ. You can see, look at this structure. Drops wheeling around to cover the midfield in case the clear comes out, but he realized JNAPS gives the ball up, so he says, hey, it's gonna come back to me for free. Nobody from G2 is gonna be coming out of the box. You have that second man who initially passed it across, sweeping through the goal line, creating a lot of havoc on the backboard. And the defensive line for G2, KRÜ find an equalizer.
Love that demo off the kickoff as well. And Drop's gonna get the dunk to push it in, and just like that, KRÜ Esports take the lead.
Great push there from Brad, realizing he's got the space. JNAPS is up late and Drops. That's just follow through. I mean, not gonna say it's luck per se, but you dive at an aggressive ball just to see if you can jam it home. Sometimes the momentum carries you through and you make contact with the ball at the right time. You end up with a lead late here in game one, under 2 minutes. G2, now's the time to prove that you got that counterattack potential. You've got that offensive firepower. You need to bring it to bear now.
Well, there it is. JNAPS did his job, got one defender out of the play. Atomic looking for the shot. That would have been absolutely disgusting. G2 Esports, less than 90 seconds to go here in game number one. Just a short reminder, this is best of 5 to open us out, so not a ton of time to work with for G2 Esports. You don't have the great game 7 that could back you up. You know, you're not going to get there, as KRÜ Esports doing whatever they can to just slow down G2.
A nice boost steal from Drufinho there on the G2 corner. As you can see, it allowed him to cut rotation there in the midfield and prevent the G2 push. Chicago, though, doing a great job winning a couple extra balls. JNaps runs out of boost. There's Atomic. He will drop this one into the lower right-hand side. G2 figure it out.
It looks like he almost faked the defender out, going for a double tap, as Brad had to respect that. Atomic goes up, and there's no one left in net. And G2 Esports tie us up right under 1 minute to go here in game number 1.
Great vision, Subi. Bang on the money. Brad definitely trusting the double tap towards the top of the net and wanted to get up there and try and take it away, but ended up allowing too much space for a pass. Now KRÜ's got to come up with one more if they want to walk away with a win in their first match.
Oh, what a 50.
Their first game. What a 50 is right. KRÜ trying to slow down the pace of the attack.
Oh, double
to bring
demo.
more people, but Drops has to give ground. Drufinho, he needs a lot of help. Brad grabs the boost. This is actually pretty good. There's Brad, and he can't size it up. This is just Drops trying to keep it in the play. Chicago does a great bit of defending. Unfortunately, got pumped off the ball, so Brad's going to be able to stay here on offense for KRÜ Esports. He's trying to bring it down the flipper. He's denied right side. Of course, JNaps always trusty on the back line when it counts. Drufinho doesn't have the boost to make anything happen. KRÜ Esports, you don't want to overstep your bounds here and let the last chance go to G2. Brad to himself can't squeeze it in. Huge challenge from Atomic. G2 Esports just dumped the ball down the field.
Wow.
Let's reset and play a kickoff, please.
They had no boost left after the series of shots that came on board, but no save more crucial than JNaps on the back line, and JNaps looking for a redirect, but you see Drops just going to slow things down, wait for his teammates to rotate back as Atomic gets the touch, but pushes it too far to the corner.
Great positioning from JNaps. Understood that that ball was going to work its way all the way across the pitch. Buys a lot of time for G2 to get set on the offensive third. Nasty pinch across, though. It's a race, and actually Drops is going to lose it. There's Chicago, and he's going to score. G2 going to win game 1.
Wow, 23 seconds into overtime, and that's all it takes for G2 Esports. Chicago right on the money. Brad almost was able to catch up, but alas, G2 take game number 1. It looked dicey at times, but in overtime, they were able to just end it quickly, and I think that's exactly what they needed.
Nasty pinch as well. I mean, against that sideboard, pretty much everybody thinking that that one goes into the corner, or at worst,
Look at the demos. Seven demos for KRÜ.
Ugh. They did a good job. They did what you're looking for. Open up a lot of space to move the ball around, but credit where it's due again. You can always count. I guess in this game it was Chicago making 3 saves, but JNaps made probably the biggest one in that final 10, 15 seconds or so that it was. KRÜ's definitely shoving as hard as they could there at the end of regulation, and unfortunately G2 saved by the bell, able to equalize the boost position, and they really didn't give the ball back once overtime started.
No, they were very lucky that the clock was at zeros, and all they needed was that ball to hit the ground because they were stuck in a hard place there. And you see JNaps taking a deep breath there, ready for game number 2. He didn't have any shots there in game number 1, still trying to get involved on the offensive half as another demo comes out right out of the rip. And it was there, the right idea. Unfortunately, execution not quite on point.
Definitely KRÜ taking the approach that I like to see against a team like G2. They know there will be some space to work with. It's just a matter of identifying and recognizing it fast enough to where you can actually take advantage of it. That's what FaZe did with such great effect in that regional grand final. They knew where the space was, they knew how to slow the ball down or accelerate through it at the right times, and KRÜ definitely taking a page out of that book there by saying, okay, there's a lot of space in front of me, I'm just going to use it as much as possible. Drufinho forcing JNaps to the floor. And G2 finally on offense.
And so far, KRÜ doing a great job of neutralizing the threat of those transition passing plays from G2. So far in game number 2, all we've seen are panic clears downfield out of G2. There's no semblance of offense, no rhyme or reason. They just want to get that ball out because they know how dangerous KRÜ are on the offensive end, especially with the demos as Drufinho was trying to get Atomic on that back line. The ball hits the back of his car. An unfortunate situation, and it definitely is. Low boost for KRÜ Esports here is JNaps in Chicago.
They can't figure it out.
A mix-up.
Yeah, I honestly, Chicago probably should have just drove away and let the second man on the rotation come through and power that one back towards the KRÜ Esports side. That was definitely an unfortunate situation. Brad gonna squeeze that one away into the safety of the side wall, but G2 picking up
nice
right where
pass.
they left off, and again, they find a dump into the slot. Ding, ding, that's 1-0 G2.
Told you to watch out for those infield passes, but look at JNAP's nasty pass. Uses the top of the car to get a lot of power behind it and hit Chicago on a dime. G2 open up game number 2 with a goal, and almost in the exact same time as game number 1.
Again, that physicality somewhere along the line there, because there was all that open space in the midfield. Had to wonder where someone was unable to come across and actually close down that passing lane. And great on G2's side of things to recognize where the space is, move the ball into it. That one's just a tester to see if they make a mistake. And G2 rightfully just backing off here. They know pressing doesn't really net them anything, and now the mechanics kind of starting to fall a little flat for KRÜ. Trying to go for some nice flip resets and such, but execution a little bit wanting at the moment.
Yeah, and it seems like G2, especially here in game number 2, realizing, okay, KRÜ isn't just gonna lay down for us. They're not just going to fold, and you can see tons of respect given in the midfield right now. They don't want to put themselves in that position that they were in game 1 where it was all tied up. And Achieves, it's too early in the week for those plays, okay? We'll get a couple of those Saturday and Sunday, but we can't start off with that.
Going for an absolute worldie of a redirect. I think it was coming from too far away to actually catch the defender off guard, but an inspired idea to say the least, and another nasty pinch forces KRÜ to give up some field position. They gain it right back, and now if they start connecting on those demos, they can really start to put G2 in a bind.
Wow. Great mechanics there from Brad. Catches the entire defense off guard, and yeah, he was definitely faking him out. I think he wanted Atomic to think that he had no boost left in the tank. Once Atomic goes, then he can kind of feather it to get it above him, but
Atomic knew.
Atomic was like,
I'm just playing the ball.
Yeah, go ahead, do whatever you want to do, but this is going to be dangerous. Waterfall's down. JNAP's going to get boost, and good 50 there from Drops to keep things in the orange half, but still, not a ton of offense here in game number 2 from KRÜ Esports. So far, they've netted only 1 shot on target.
Clever idea from G2, just trying to freeze that KRÜ Esports defense. And this is some very aggressive positioning. You have to be able to hold on to the ball. Drufinho probably just gave up a goal here. Atomic straight towards the net, indeed.
Got to be able to capitalize on every opportunity thrown your way. Atomic does exactly that. I'm sure JNAPs in Chicago were calling out exactly what you did. Hey, no one back there, just launch it on target. And G2 Esports give themselves a little bit of a buffer here in game number 2, looking to go up 2-0 over KRÜ Esports.
And it all started, you know, KRÜ Esports, they positioned so aggressively to start that counterattack. I mean, if they hit that pass, then yeah, G2's going to be in a bit of a tough spot, but it gets picked off, and Drufinho as that third man there, you have to make the decision. Do you trade the space to G2 to buy the time for people to come back, or do you go try and take it away? And you know, it takes a very special, and Q, it's gonna go in.
He just ripped this one from the defender's arms. JNAPs thought he could get away with it. Drops read it from a mile away. And my, oh my, we've got a ball game here.
Out of nowhere, and JNAPs, that's just the unfortunate reality of you didn't quite catch the ball like you needed to, so you kind of allow only one lane of attack for the ball to go, and Drops swept right through it. Popped it straight into the net. Final 40 seconds. KRÜ, can you make some magic happen?
Nice challenge there from JNAPs, but gonna be neutralized. Here comes Brad. Can't send that one down, and things are looking very similar to game number 1, how it ended, although G2 does still hold that 1-goal lead. KRÜ needs to get to work. They need to get this ball past midfield. They need to get into the orange half, because right now G2 Esports giving them no opportunities.
Struggling to make solid contact as well, kind of forced to throw this into the corner. Awkward read for Atomic. He actually comes up empty. Drufinho had a look. Couldn't quite get on top of it though. Drops, can you find one more option? Flip reset. Drufinho's up early, pinched across. Last man is there.
He's there.
Drufinho cannot reach it. Atomic says, nah, sit down to the grass with you, my friend. And 2-0 in favor of G2.
Much better game there from G2 Esports. Took them a while to wake up, but seems like they've gotten that sleep from the Sandman out of their eyes here. And G2 Put KRÜ Esports on notice. Up 2-0, gonna force a reverse sweep from KRÜ to pull this off. But I like how they played in game one. I loved the aggression that they had. They're trying to box them in. But one thing that was different here was G2 Esports didn't allow any offense from KRÜ whatsoever.
Yeah, significantly more controlling game from G2, and that's really when they do their best work. Obviously, not a large margin of victory, but if G2 is the one driving pace of play, more often than not, they end to be the ones who end up winning the game. And love the pressure, love the presence, and KRÜ also, I felt, kind of shooting themselves in the foot there a little bit throughout, because they had some opportunities go on offense, but that mechanical ability sort of floundering there in the middle of the game, not able to come up with some of the touches they needed, and kind of limited their options.
I kind of feel like when they gave up that second goal to G2 that they went too early to go all in. They still had about a minute and 20 to go, and it's like
didn't have to force it.
You didn't have to force it there. You could have seen what could have developed, but either way, that's kind of the way the cookie crumbles here in Rocket League. Is Chicago gonna slow things down, and let's see if KRÜ can get off to a hot start here in game number 3.
Interesting decision there from Brad, looking for the backboard instead, straight into the middle, but all of G2 in the exact same spot. Drops is able to figure out how to poke this one through, and that's a great recovery effort from Atomic. Just dump that one down the pitch. Can always count on him to get some type of valuable effort down the field. If you find yourself in a jam, no boost for Drufinio, stretching, and if he had like 15 boost, he gets there. He's only got 7 and he can't do it.
Unfortunate situation. Right idea for KRÜ as flip reset comes through the bump, looking for the back line as Chicago can't find the open net. KRÜ super aggressive on that play. They left that back line wide open, but G2 unable to punish.
Ooh, nasty bouncer, really freezes the G2 defense, and a great stop from Atomic, somehow defending the top left corner, ends up saving one right next to the floor as well. Talk about precision in your coverage from Atomic in a jam.
Precision and accuracy, two of the most important things in Rocket League, whether it be on a shot, a save, a pass. As Atomic goes up, gonna launch this one up for JNaps, and JNaps gets beat out by Brad, and here comes KRÜ. They've done a great job for 90 seconds to hold G2 off. Dangerous ball, but JNaps cleans it up, puts it off into the corner.
It's like KRÜ stretching maybe a little bit too hard right now. It doesn't feel like there's quite enough boost in the tank for them to really capitalize on some of the opportunities that they're trying to create. As you can see here, only 13 for Brad in the net. Just has to let that ball come to him a little bit more than he would have liked. Great idea, though. Catch the ball in the midfield, go straight towards the backboard, counterattacking right down the center of the pitch. Definitely a strong way to force your opposition into a defensive stance on defense.
I want to see him get out of those corners, though. G2 is so good at defending out of those. They're not going to allow many goals from there. So I'd like to see KRÜ go for some infield passes. I like to see this. I'd like to see the solo plays, force one defender to go up. And Brad pushes it yet again into the corner. JNap's going to get fully boosted up and drops. That's a nasty read. He pre-jumped that, too.
Really just went in there to try and keep it going, but that's kind of the problem sometimes. Oh, they give it up. Oh, the Cardinal sin. Hard off the sidewall before any of your team is actually ready for it. Drufinio wants boost, drops, misses the touch, and Drufinio gets caught moving forward, thinking drops maybe is going to tip that one sideways. And bing, bang, boom, in the back.
That's how you get stranded on an island there. He needs to send out an SOS, but no help for him as Drufinio 1v1 versus Chicago leaves that ball. And Brad elects to rotate out. And again, it just seems like KRÜ Esports, the timing isn't there of when they need to do things. On that play, all 3 players pushing up out of the defensive half when there was no reason for it. Just cover up that back line. You're still all knotted up. Yes, you're down 2-0, but it's not imperative to score right there.
Just missing some of those demos as well. Not cool. Ooh, nasty bit of a clear. Atomic's first to win the ball, though, and that's his other superpower. Dude can absolutely figure out a bounce instantly.
What's his first superpower? Can he fly?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Boy, can he.
Holy smokes.
Atomic, absolute menace on the pitch. He can get anywhere at any time. As little backflip shot. Brad can't squeeze it through either. All of G2 really, they're just saying the only way you're breaking through us on defense, you're going to have to come get some type of demo. Because
Exactly.
We're just camped back here.
You're going to have to force a mistake out of us. We're not going to create it for you. You're going to have to do something to put us in a hole. And right now, it's not looking like it's going to happen as Atomic avoided it. Mid-air demo. Brad going to put that one top of the box. JNAP's a little too high, and Chicago smartly just decides to rotate back, cover up the goal. We're up by 1. Great decision-making there from Chicago.
Oh! That was, you're right. It was excellently played by Chicago. He forced the attacker towards the sidewall, trying to limit some of those options. The defensive principles were sound, but the execution from KRÜ actually coming alive there for a little bit. And again, little flip reset straight towards the backboard. G2 knows they don't have to press too hard for that. They're like, okay, just let it bounce. We'll go and get the clear, poke one towards net. And now you got to make something out of these counterattacks. Now's the time where you sit in the house. You let that third man be unleashed and say, go for it.
Yeah, you got to send the house right here, right now for KRÜ Esports. He's got the
He
flip.
got the flip.
Yeah, and Atomic was wise to that. Such a great defender, especially on that back wall as Brad gets that boost pad. Atomic just wrapping this ball around. All he's doing is killing that clock. His drops coming in. Chicago's got to avoid the demo, but no one there. Brad can't clean it up, and great defense from G2.
Oh, and the demo. Tough ball here to handle G2. Look at Chicago.
Look at him.
Come get it. Come get it. Really just trying to put KRÜ on a string. Nice little floater. JNAP should probably fake that one, tip it backwards. Oh, and they drop it. KRÜ may have had something this whole series. That one really felt like the coulda, woulda, shoulda if you were KRÜ. It was possible if you had only executed a little bit better, and experience paying dividends for G2 here.
Definitely.
They said, look, we've got the lead. Come and beat us. We know we don't have to do much more than that.